Family Guy has cracked over 10,000 jokes across 400 episodes.
Step forward, maggot. Ah! Next time, that'll be you.
Well, why wasn't it him this time?
Oh, I'm so scared.
Peter, stop it!
Yeah, you're real big when you got that stick, ain't you? Okay, I'll stop now.
And yeah, statistically, some of them were gonna come true. That's just how numbers work. But here's the thing. Some of these aren't, lucky guesses. Some of them are so specific, so weirdly uncomfortably accurate that math alone doesn't really cut it. So these are every time Family Guy predicted the future. And this time, we're actually separating the real ones from the total BS. The fake ones. Before we get to the wild stuff though, let's kill the ones that aren't real. Because yeah, some of the biggest Family Guy predictions floating around the internet are straight up fake. Boston Marathon. All right, you've definitely seen this one. After the 2013 Boston Marathon bombing, a clip went viral showing Peter Griffin setting off explosions at the marathon, and it looks insane, right? Like, genuinely terrifying. Except it's not real. The episode is Turban Cowboy. Season 11 aired 1 month before the bombing. And yes, Peter does run the Boston Marathon in that episode. And yes, there is an explosion in a different scene. But those are two completely separate moments. Someone just cut them together, posted it online, and millions of people fell for it. Fox actually yanked the episode off streaming because of how bad the hoax got. So no, Family Guy didn't predict the Boston Marathon bombing. That's an edited clip, and we're moving on. The COVID thing. Same deal. A clip went around claiming Family Guy predicted COVID.
Shut. Why do I gotta get this stupid COVID vaccine anyway?
Peter, it's COVID. You should know how to say it. It's been well over a year.
Peter gets sick from a Chinese guy in some factory. In reality, it's a throwaway gag about germs that has literally nothing to do with a pandemic. Could you squint hard enough to see a connection? Sure, but you could do that with any joke about someone getting sick. And here's my rule for all of these. If you have to edit a clip or rip it out of context to make the prediction work, then it's just a coincidence in a costume. The Hollywood ones. Now, this is where it shifts because some of these so-called predictions aren't predictions at all. They're something way creepier. They're proof that Hollywood keeps its worst secrets just sitting there in plain sight. Kevin Spacey. Family Guy was making Spacey jokes for over a decade before anything went public. Back in 2005, there's a gag that basically implies Spacey is the last guy you'd want watching your kids.
Help! I've escaped from Kevin Spacey's basement! Help me! Ha! I am so outrageous. Give me the cash.
And then they do it again in season 10. And then again later. Like the show kept going back to this bit like it was an inside joke. And then 2017 happened and that joke stopped being funny real quick. Harvey Weinstein. Same exact pattern here. There is multiple episodes across multiple seasons, all making very pointed jokes about Weinstein being a predator. And one scene literally has a woman warning another woman not to be alone with him. And let's not forget, Seth MacFarlane hosted the Oscar nominations in 2013 and dropped this line. Congratulations, you 5 ladies no longer have to pretend to be attracted to Harvey Weinstein. He later said that joke came from a friend's real experience, and he knew, the show knew, Hollywood knew, and nobody did anything about it until the whole thing finally blew up. Look, these aren't predictions, they're receipts. MacFarlane has been inside the Hollywood machine since his mid-20s. Went to RISD, got Family Guy picked up by Fox, been plugged into that world ever since. When the show predicted that powerful men were predators, it wasn't seeing the future. It was just saying out loud what everyone already whispered about at parties. And honestly, that's kind of scarier than if they'd actually predicted it. The real ones. Okay, so this is where we get into the ones that actually can't be explained away. No insider knowledge, no manipulated clips, no obvious trends to point to, just a cartoon that somehow nailed it. Caitlyn Jenner. This is the one. As early as season 2, we're talking the year 2000, Family Guy made a joke about Bruce Jenner becoming a woman.
And now please welcome Mr. Bruce Jenner.
And it wasn't some vague throwaway, it was specific. And it wasn't a one-time thing either. Season 7 in 2008, there's another joke about a sex change. Then again in season 8. The show made this joke at least three separate times across 8 years. And then, in April 2015, Caitlyn Jenner came out on national television. Now, had there been scattered tabloid rumors? Maybe, but in 2000, when that first joke aired, nobody was having this conversation publicly. And the show went there 15 years early. And that's not a coincidence. I don't even know what that is, but it's something. Robin Williams. Season 11, Episode 12, Valentine's Day in Quahog, 2013. There's a cutaway where Peter tries to cheer up Robin Williams, and the whole thing takes this dark, uncomfortable turn. It goes beyond Robin Williams is sad. It implies something way worse. On August 11th, 2014, Robin Williams took his own life. And Williams had been open about his struggles with depression and addiction. So you could argue the writers were just reflecting what was publicly known. But the way that bit is written, the specificity of it, makes it one of the most uncomfortable moments in the show's entire history. Ebola going mainstream. Season 7, 2008. Peter just casually drops Ebola into a gag like it's the worst thing he can think of. And at the time, most Americans couldn't even spell Ebola. It was this distant, abstract thing that happened somewhere else. Six years later, the West African epidemic hit. And suddenly, Ebola was the only word on every news channel for months. The show name-dropped it half a decade before it went mainstream. And that's just wild to me. Disney eating everything. And this one is my favorite. Multiple episodes joked about Disney consuming all of entertainment. Just this running gag about the mouse swallowing everything whole. And then in 2019, Disney literally bought Fox, the network that airs Family Guy. The show predicted that its own network would get devoured by Disney. And I don't even know what you do with that information. The 2026 stuff. And this is why the video says updated 2026. Because the show is still doing it. Recent seasons had a joke about AI replacing writers.
I guess I'm always just gonna be one of those guys who throws like a girl.
You wish you threw like a girl.
Meg?
You're gonna throw out that first pitch, Dad, and I'm gonna teach you.
Ha 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 ha! Much laughter and exaggerated scenarios ahead.
This joke was written by AI while the writers were on strike.
And this was right as the 2023 WGA strike was heating up, where AI was literally the central issue on the table. The show joked about the exact thing that nearly shut down the entire industry. There are also gags about streaming services collapsing under their own weight, and just look around. Services merging, shows getting pulled overnight, subscriber numbers tanking. Family Guy saw that coming. And here's the most meta thing. Recent seasons have actually started making jokes about prediction compilation videos. Like this one. The show is aware that people make these videos and they're leaning into it hard. And at this point, you gotta wonder if the writers are just doing it on purpose to mess with us. So what's actually going on? So is Seth MacFarlane a time traveler? Probably not. But honestly, with that guy, who knows? The real answer is actually more interesting than any conspiracy. Because Family Guy has put out over 400 episodes, and each one has like 20, 30 cutaway gags. That's 10,000 plus individual jokes referencing real people, real events, real cultural moments. With that kind of volume, some of them are gonna line up with the future. And that's not magic, that's just probability. But here's what people miss. It's not just math. The show is written by people who are insanely plugged into culture. They're reading the same trends, hearing the same rumors, seeing the same patterns that everyone else ignores. And the best predictions aren't random. They come from people who pay stupid close attention to the world and then make jokes about where it's all heading. So no, Family Guy can't see the future, but it does something that's almost as impressive. It just sees the present more clearly than most of us do. And sometimes that's enough. Well, maybe not enough, but it's definitely more than I can do. So who am I to judge 24 seasons of accidentally being right? Subscribe if you want more of these, because I've got a whole list of shows that predicted things, and honestly, some of them are even weirder than this. Drop a comment. What's the Family Guy prediction that freaks you out the most? Because I know I missed some, and honestly, the Caitlyn Jenner one still keeps me up at night a little bit. Cut! Was that good? Yeah, okay. Morty fiction, you already know.